All right, everyone, welcome to Grand Theft Audio. Audio, definitely not auto. Please make sure that you understand this is not Grand Theft Auto. That's something for like little boys and people who want to pretend that they can go on killing sprees. But this is Grand Theft Audio 6. My name is Jake Belcher.
I'm Brant Thoman.
I'm Carl Kozlowski.
And again, welcome to
Grand Theft Audio 6.
Why is it number 6? Are we just
what
cultural
happened to
phenomenon?
1 through 5?
Yeah. What did happen to 1 through 5? Let's see. What was Grand Theft Audio 1 through 5? Grand Theft Audio 1 was when we were with the American Radio Network, and then we got, so it's like we were learning. Then Grand Theft Audio 2 was when we went to broadcast radio. We went on to KABC, and we were doing pretty good to be on the biggest political talk station in the country. Then we went on to the internet to LA Talk Radio. Then we moved away from them for GTA 4 for Radio Titans, where we launched our own endeavor, where we had more fun than we ever should have had. Man, I'm jealous of that jersey for sure. Carl split off his way for a while on his own Radio Titans journeys, and Brent and I went over to T Radio V and ran Grand Theft Audio over there. And now we're here for Grand Theft Audio 6 here on YouTube. We're on YouTube because this is where everybody is. You guys are going to be able to find us on all platforms. We're going to put ourselves up audio versions so you can listen to us on podcast versions and out on Rumble and everywhere else. But the main focus for us is going to be YouTube. That's where everybody is. So please share our videos here, like us, and comment. And we're going to try to comment back on everything that anybody writes us. And if you have any suggestions for stories or suggestions for things that we should be talking about, we'd love to hear it down in the box below. So thanks for checking in again for GTA Grand Theft Audio 6. All right. So some things we plan on talking on this show. We're definitely going to do some pop culture stuff. That's where we mainly had our bread and butter. We would talk about what was going on in the news and just things that are affecting us culturally. And we do celebrity interviews. At some points, there will be celebrities who've come on here. We've had insane guests in the past, so we're not going to promise the same people. One thing that's been weird, though, about going through our past guest list is how some of those people disappeared in the world, right? I sent Carl over our full list of everybody, and they used to be really big names in our scenes, and it's like so many of them just disappeared. I hope for them that they decide that they need to get themselves back on the horse and doing their thing too, because we disappeared for a while, and now we're coming back and doing it. So I'm hoping the same.
We're not judging, but it is weird, the fleeting nature of fame. But that was a real lesson in that, looking through the past guest list and going, oh my God, 95% of these people that were awesome to have for the first 3 years from 2008 to 11. I looked through 150 episodes, and there were all these people that were really big. We're not going to name names so it doesn't look like we're insulting.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on people,
No, but there were some big guests, like the LA Times even profiled us. And then now it's like, oh my gosh, 95% of these people have fallen completely off the pop culture radar, or they're appearing in IMDb movies with like 3.4 out of 10 ratings. So,
well, amusingly enough, one of my favorite shows on NPR is a show called Wait, Don't Tell Me.
oh, yeah.
And what was really funny, just a couple of weeks ago, there was an episode on in which 3 of the 4 people who were hosting the show or participating in the show were former guests of ours. Tom Papa was hosting the show. Alonzo Bowden and Helen Hong were both guests who were competing on the show that day.
Wow.
And it was just like, this is a great little roundup. I like all 3 of these people very much. They're all very funny. It was a great episode of that show, and it was just kind of nice. I've gotten to interview all 3 of those people, a couple of them, a couple of times. So it's nice that some of our great guests have continued to be successful and continue to be active out in the comedic world, especially all the comedians that we had. But it was a fun time to catch that and think back on how they were in our studio, all 3 of them at one point.
Yeah.
I think I used to annoy my ex a lot when I say, oh, you had them on, so I don't even say it anymore. I'm just like, nah. I think that my current fiance would like to hear more of those stories, but they're so long ago. I'm here to make new stories and do new things.
Right.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
1,000,000%.
Just because our general brand is a little edgier than that. So I don't want people to think, oh,
we shouldn't only be talking about how sad it is that Sally Fabre passed. We should be talking about how sad it is that Billie Eilish may make music again. After saying this week that we're not going to make any more music until Trump is out of office, I don't really know which way, until the war is over and Trump's out of office, I don't know which way to root.
I suddenly am hoping that Trump finds a way for a 3rd term upon hearing that Billy might not record.
Just because these people are so goddamn pompous in the things they say and they think that they matter that much, that is legit what I'd like to see happen.
I gotta say, all these stars always, whenever it's a Republican, I don't think anybody does it. I don't think Republican actors do this to Democrats. It's always whenever a Republican's in office. I'm leaving the country if they get reelected.
But
And
until
I gotta
Trump,
say,
I don't think they ever had.
well, as much as I can't stand her in general, Rosie O'Donnell, I give props. She actually kept her word and she moved to Ireland. So she's got a little bit of respect for me for that.
Dude, that's just looking at pictures of her and her life. It's so sad. I wish that some of these people could just stop posting pictures of themselves. Put your words up, I guess. But every time I see her, it depresses me. She's just...
Well, she had plastic surgery. She actually looks a little better nowadays.
It's not much. It's not enough better to make me feel like she should still be seen. And then leaving, I think she left because she doesn't want to get diddied. I think that she's like...
Oh, you think she's got something to hide?
Yes, but her and Diddy are like they were almost best friends on that show. He made like 22. He made like 22 appearances or some insane
on her talk show.
Yes, in so many of them.
No idea.
In so many of them, she's handing over children to him.
Oh my god,
it's fucking crazy. One of the times he's making fun of him, and he moves up the camera to be off it, and he's like, "I got the tapes, and I'll release them." Like, shut up. Her music man, this guy Twitch, who just fucking died. There's so many people.
You're talking about Ellen. You're thinking of Ellen did that. But Ellen, I was talking about Rosie O'Donnell in Ireland. Oh, and Ellen actually kept her word. Also, she went to England.
Hey, did I switch to Ellen? I think I did.
You switched to Ellen, but no,
because I wanted to. I think I had verbally had switched to Ellen beforehand. So I don't think that. I think the people at home knew I was talking about Ellen.
No, I think we caught on now, but
you just did. Well, here's the good news.
I was talking about Rosie, and you started talking about Ellen, but you never said her name.
Yeah, no, he transitioned over to Ellen.
Oh,
I definitely did because I said that these people don't actually take him up on it. The reason I think that Ellen actually did is because she doesn't want to get diddied up. So, and I actually worked on Rosie's show a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, I got to be there during her second biggest freakout episode when she had on
Tom Cruise,
John F. Kennedy. Oh yeah, I was there for the Tom Cruise episode too.
Wow.
So that was those filmed at Universal, and yeah, the job I was working for Coach, I got asked to go over and work on the stay for Rosie O'Donnell. And
could you tell that Rosie was faking her enthusiasm for those guys, or
no? I think that she was just so starstruck by things. I'm not even sure I'm not sure what her early sexuality really was. I mean, she just wanted, speak to that. I thought that she was a reasonable person to work for. I had no complaints about her. Every time I ever got close to somebody, they were always so nice. I mean, Michael, Oprah, or whoever it was, like you can deal with them and talk to them. They're all fucking nice as hell in person.
You met Oprah and Michael Jackson?
Both of them, yes.
What? Where?
Okay, so
wow.
So Oprah did a marathon that was running through Universal. Like it was backside of Griffith Park, and it was an event that she was doing out here. And I was just assigned to be out on like a stand, mile 22 or some shit. She came by and she met everybody. Like she came and every person was that was working for the production. She came by and met and said hello. And I thought that's very cool. As for the Michael Jackson one, same company. I ended up working for the Soul Train 25th Anniversary Hall of Fame show, which was one of the wildest events I ever did in my life. It was so much fun. But Michael Jackson was like the real of it. My job was in seating. I was on the person who did the guest list. So when we would get the guest list, we would then be told to sit people far enough away from each other. So once we list, we had to bring it back to each one of the artists and say, okay, we have groups separated from them and those groups. Are you okay with this list? My job was just to go in there and say, are you okay with this list? And like they sat there and like looked over it. He just said, yeah, and everything was cool. I mean, in a double-decker tour bus, and it was cool. But I mean, I've met some of the most famous people in the world. If you factor those in, same job, man. I worked on Space Jam, and I got to work with Michael Jordan. And every day had like this pickup basketball game where the biggest players in the world would come in. So you'd have Shaq and Magic and all these guys showing up to play these private games. And it was basically just me, security, watching the door, like making sure that people aren't coming in and out of this, and a bunch of other security. But like it was, you get to, meet. Then I met Mike Tyson I've met almost every person I've met has been black. I've met I've met the most famous black people in like the history of time.
Well, I had my own weird encounter with Michael Jordan. It's in my book. which I'll be whoring every episode. Okay.
Pull it over a little bit farther. I can put it right in your face. All right, Dozing.
Called Tales from a Nutty Narcoleptic Life, and it's like a bunch of funny stories of crazy things I went through because I've had all sorts of bizarre experiences. But anyways, one of the chapters I'll say real quick was I was with the Chicago Tribune because I used to be a reporter for my full-time job, and running in Chicago, and I went to cover Michael Jordan giving a press conference at his boys club. And, I wound right behind him, and I had a bad cold that day, and it was like an itchy nose kind of a feeling. You know what I'm talking about, where it's sort of like hay fever. And
Yes.
I'm stuck behind him, and he's like at least at this press thing, he was like classic Seinfeld talker, like mumble. And so I'm holding my tape recorder. I'm standing behind him, like right behind his neck, and I'm holding my tape recorder around his face. And he keeps looking back at me like annoyed that I'm like jamming this, electronic device. And he winds up giving it because the whole time my nose is just itching, and I'm like, oh God, to let go. And the second he finished talking and said, "Thanks, guys," I just shot out a snot rocket into the floor, and he jumps out of the way. And everybody looked and was looking at me like, "You were lucky you did not shoot that into his head."
I mean, I'm not missed the shot, but that's is experience there for sure. I believe that 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
How about you? Who do you think the most famous person you've ever met is?
Most person I've ever met. I didn't. Michael Jackson. I saw him when I was working back at Universal back in the day. This Mercedes pulls up in this back area where there's only a handful of us working. It's kind of behind us on the theme park. One of the nicest Mercedes I'd ever seen. I mean, like the size of it, the trim. I just looked at this car and went, that's a car. And all of a sudden, Michael gets out, and the woman I'm hanging out with was like, "Is that Michael Jackson? That's Michael Jackson. Hi, Michael." And he waved at us, and we were like, "Oh, hey." And he for a second, just making sure that everyone kind of got a wave, and then he went off. He was doing a Make-A-Wish kind of thing with a kid. There was a youngster that got out, and they went into the park.
Make a wish or make a nightmare is the question.
What is fame? It's so much of it has changed, and so we were almost famous. I got recognized a couple of times in LA when that was kind of fun. We were local celebrities, but that was because it's gotten easier and easier to become famous. I think it's also become harder to hold on to fame in many ways too.
Yeah.
Well, I think, is it fame or is it celebrity? Because fame is something that you can gain from your actions or from things that you do, whereas celebrity is a little different. Whereas celebrity is a person who holds, I think, a level of fame that then also becomes, are we interested in talking about that person? I think there are a lot of famous people we don't talk about. They're not really celebrities. But celebrities are usually famous people who also, the whole word itself is, celebrities are celebrated people. They are celebrated for their talents in some level. But that definition has become so watered down in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, but about that time where the definition of celebrity is very different than it was. Because when I'm scrolling through my news feed and I see an article about a 26-year-old influencer who has passed away for some reason, I've never heard of this person. How are they a celebrity? How is this on my feed even? Because if I had shown interest in this person, that would make sense to me. But it's just, I think the definition of celebrity has become so vague that anybody who has even 5 of their 15 minutes out there, there's some level of celebrity that they are.
Well, I mean, I'll say something that's weird and not, well, whatever. I'm going to whore myself one more time.
Great.
No, but on Google, if you Google my name, it actually puts a bunch of pictures of me and says Carl Kozlowski, author. And I'm like, really? I have a book that sold 534 copies on Amazon out of 30 million books on Amazon. And they're like, so like, and you get like a Google AI fame now. You Google Theft Audio, just call it The View for Dudes. That was our LA Times article. And it actually gives a Google AI summary about how great Grand Theft Audio was. Take a look. It's pretty sweet. But it's just weird. Like, I watched an interesting documentary about Coleman on Peacock about 3 weeks ago called Gary. And it's very sad, but I recommend it to anybody at all who is interested in Gary Coleman's life. And said something like, something you never lose. He wanted desperately to be left alone. And I think he may even be in an unmarked grave because he was so hated being to be as this outsized little kid his whole life and being pestered by paparazzi and people for autographs and this and that. And he said, you never lose celebrity, and that it's such a curse. And it is kind of true. Like, we're famous, but I don't know, like, relevant maybe is the thing that fades away.
I never really understood the Gary Coleman thing. So, like, one of our stories to talk about today was about how this kind of character from Boo Boo has gone on to make about $15,000 a day on OnlyFans, which its own level of celebrity now. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of money for showing off your body parts, but I get that. But like, Coleman has been someone that's kind of stuck in my mind my entire life. I had a really weird experience with him when I was a kid. He was like really the first celebrity that I spoke to with like my words and stuff, and it was very weird. I think I've told the story on here. I don't want to make it that long. But I went up to him at the Academy Award, or the Emmys, and I asked him for an autograph. And him and his entire entourage laughed at me because he didn't know how to write his name. And
what?
Yeah, so like he can't write his name. He can't. Ha 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 ha.
How old was he?
He was old enough to write his name. I was an infant when he was on Different Strokes. He looked younger than he was too.
Yeah.
He was a reasonable enough age that he should know how to sign his name. They made me out to be like the joke, like I was dumb for asking him for it. Pissed me off since I was a kid. But then like he became a security guard.
Yeah.
He would make, I think I read that he was making $9.50 an hour as a security guard. I'm like, his level of celebrity, couldn't he make more money on Hollywood Boulevard getting pictures with people or autographs? I used to be down there on Hollywood Boulevard. There'd be people down there in a Spider-Man costume charging $20 for a picture with them. I mean, an actual known celebrity make on standing in front of Grauman's Chinese in a day.
The documentary actually explained why he loved being a security guard. His dream was that if he had been normal size and normal function in his life, his dream was to not be an actor. He wanted to leave acting and become a cop. And that was the closest he could ever get to it, was being a security guard.
Man, I feel even kind of worse for him. I mean, I want to tell people what to do are fucking worse. I don't want to just say all cops are annoying to me, but when your dream is to like law down, it's a very small person's dream. Like, he wants to have some control over what is going on around them in the rest of the world. I don't think a lot of people who were probably 6'5", let's just take the opposite version, dream of being police and telling people what to do. I would have been a lot more
kids
people.
Love being police and firefighters.
Yeah, because they're little and they want to be able to tell people what to do too. That is an M-words dream job. So I get it.
Okay. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
I think the train of thought was that Gary Coleman.
We're talking about how much could they make. You think about conventions, or even like track conventions. Baseball players, they will go to these things and they will charge $20 to $25, and they stay all day long, thousands of dollars. I imagine if you're a celebrity at some of these places, you could even ask more, potentially, but you at the same time don't want to price people out from able to get your autograph. If you ask for too much, they're not going to do it.
Oh no, the conventions, I've been to a couple of them in Little Rock because I have a friend who's like a huge sci-fi fan, and so he goes to Little Rock's version of Comic-Con, and they charge like $100, 200. He paid over $200 to have a picture of him and his wife with William Shatner.
The newest prices just came out for Mark Hamill today, and he's charging $999 flat rate. Like, and that's only for an 8x11. Like, you want it on a bulk item, like anything that is not just a picture, it's another $300.
Jeez.
Like, if you want a figure signed by him, that's minimum $1,300 to have it done. And he also makes a point when he does autographs, when people get him out in public, that he does autographs, like a free autograph is illegible. I mean, even bother going up and asking him for an autograph somewhere, because what you're going to get is not going to look anything like Mark Hamill. it's going to look like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, wouldn't be surprised if you figured out some way of writing, I don't give a fuck about you very, very smallly.
Well, Steve Martin was notorious, at least at one point in his career. If you approached him for an autograph, he would hand you a card that said that was signed by him, and it was, "This attests that you've had a personal encounter with Steve Martin, and it was wonderful," or something like that. And I don't know if he even signed it. It just was a card that he'd hand people.
It probably gets annoying. At the same point, like that you have in your life is because of that. About they're doing any other type of work, like making money years later off of a poster or something. And there needs to be some mutual respect both ways in letting people eat dinner alone and not be harassed and not be treated like crap by somebody. Like, I mean, it just didn't go anywhere with that. So.
Well, one thing we were talking earlier today about fame is the commercials that people are doing nowadays. It's like he does Lowe's, he does Farm, I think, and
Yep.
like five of them. John Cena's got 4 or 5.
Cena is international. I mean, he does Chinese commercials all the time.
Wow.
We used to only do commercials in China and stuff. It was embarrassing to do it here. I remember with like 80s, like you like clips of like Elizabeth Taylor doing a perfume ad in or here's like we're actual celebrities like trying to protect their brand. These people don't give a fuck about protecting their brand anymore. I have like a couple of the girls from Friends who are doing commercials for Clash of Clans who are pretending that they like don't know each other but they're friends. And you have Sofia Vergara who's like, I'm going to lead a battle of people and it'll be my army. And like I don't even understand what she's fucking advertising, but she just is famous, so they're gonna put her on these iPhone game ads that they just make a fortune off of that totally diminish their celebrity to me. I can't look at them the same way and think that this person is, quote, famous.
The draw of money, the amount of money there is these days in advertising.
But how much money do the Friends people need? Those people, you could put $1 million an episode. You could put $1 more in those people's pockets and have them be happier.
Money is an addiction, just like alcohol or cocaine or any other kind of hard drug. It really is. Elon Musk. Let's look at this a little bit. I'm only bringing him up because the man in the last 2 months became the first trillionaire we've ever seen. And with that though, he didn't used to. His drive for the billions was there, but not to the level that it is now. Like, what isn't worth 250 billion or something. It certainly like he was. I don't know. There's something about it where it seems like there's an addiction to money and the ability to get it. And
I listen to almost everything that guy says publicly. I listened to everything he's ever said publicly. I've never heard him say that he wants more money or that he needs more money. Everything that guy talks about is for like advancement of society and money off of that. But I've never heard him say that the reason he's doing it is making money. I mean.
No. I'm not saying that either. But I'm saying that a person who, with this IPO for SpaceX and the for it, there's a. Sorry about that. I've now lost my train of thought. It's not just Elon. It's all billionaires. That there is almost like this competition to be the top billionaire has created this addiction to money, and there's not enough. Because all of these men have so much money in their lives that they could do something better for the world. He says he's going to try and do stuff for the world. Well, what is he doing? He's trying to get us off this planet. He's trying to take us to Mars.
What's wrong with that?
Well, how is that? How to help mankind? We will never be able to. Never in our lifetimes be able to.
You guys are talking at the same time, so I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think, Carl, what were you trying to say?
I'm saying, like, how many problems we solve on Earth with the money that we're wasting on going to Mars? I mean, what is going to get us?
So I will say one thing about, like, Elon Musk is he has said he would give the money to fix homelessness and hunger and just give him a plan on how to do it, I
didn't think to sit down with Elon, and Elon never made the meeting?
No. Like, you can that happen, but I don't believe
they did meet, what you're saying.
I don't ever said that they had a plan that could actually meet what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying, I remember Elon had said, if you can a plan on how we can do it, and the guy said, I'd be happy to sit down with you and offer you suggestions on how we could do it. And that, from what after the interview I saw, was that they never sat down and had that conversation. And if kind of money, if he wants to fix that, he'd be able to by hiring the people to help him figure out how to do it. instead of relying on someone else to give him the idea, because all these other great ideas he's had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a reward for achieving all sorts of like sales metrics.
His personal value $1 trillion.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought it was tied
down
in
because
having
the
to meet all
stock went
sorts of
back
goals.
down. But because of his 85% controlling share of SpaceX, when it went public, he became a trillionaire for a couple of days, and then the stock lost value, and he dipped beneath that $1 trillion valuation.
Huh. Well, because when we were talking stars with ads, yeah, it's like Kudrow, and they're doing not just at the Clash of Clans. I think they're also doing what the hell? They have more to add, and it's for Royal Kingdom. And then the Royal Kingdom also has Jimmy Fallon, Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Kaylee Cuoco, and it's like, really? I mean, Jimmy Show, LeBron James is up there with Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time for basketball, and Kevin Hart, at least
He's everything.
Huh?
I mean, that guy does advertising for everything. It's crazy.
I know Kevin Hart. Yeah, he's the guy.
Okay, so I understand his some way too. He has a lot of kids, right?
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't think he has as many as an outrageous amount, like a rapper amount, or
I think he has a decent amount of kids. Like, I don't look up to see how many he's got.
I'm looking.
I see if you have a lot of kids and stuff, you may want to go on, make money, and do that type of thing. But even then, it seems embarrassing. Maybe years ago, when I'm sitting there on the radio, and here comes John Goodman to tell me how good a hamburger is. I'm like, this motherfucker is making much money. Like, this could have been anybody else in the world. He's going to die of obesity. I mean, it's amazing that he thought would happen. And then he's out there telling everybody that no, you don't just need a regular hamburger. You need a double. You need two meat. You need 2 pieces of cheese. And he's going to make it sound like he's coming when he's talking about it. Oh,
and don't forget the shake.
I mean, yeah. I mean shakes. Gross. These people are taking for like a celebrity, and it makes them less than they actually are. Like, I think that raised at a time, my grandfather was one of the first reporters for the Hollywood Reporter. So I was raised on like Q numbers and all these things for like what used to matter in Hollywood. And I'd be grilled on what they were. And like, you didn't make yourself like less than you were. The idea that a movie actor went down to television was a giant thing. So like, it should still be the same thing into advertising. It should be even a bigger kick to the balls. Like, it should be more to move from TVs to advertising than it is to move from movies to TV. I see Brent said like no.
I'm running an hour at this point. We've been on for a bit. And it's hard. It's impossible for them to say no to it. This goes right back to it about the addiction to money. If you put a big enough pile in front of somebody, they're going to say yes and take that money. I mean, I don't taking it. I'm just surprised at it, and I don't think it lowers them in any way, because at the end of the day, it's how much money are you going to be able to have to provide for your family beyond this. So I don't know how many kids Ludacris has, but I imagine he's probably got a couple. I'm sure he's had a wife at some point in his life. He's a successful rapper. It would be hard for me to believe that didn't happen.
And they live pretty outlandish lifestyles. You need to have the flashiest car and the biggest chain on you and that stuff. So I get that there's expenses that come with that. But honestly, I don't hold Ludacris in the same level as those other people. I mean, I think that if you go from like music, like from being a step up, like he was just a guy who was a rapper. Like now he's gone on to other things. Like I think that the is up in that direction instead of going down.
Well, Kevin Hart and Ludacris, for the record, each have 4 kids. I'm surprised we don't see Nick Cannon on 10 times the ads of these guys.
I mean, he knows how to babies. Like, is that some type of Illuminati face?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just self-conscious about my chin a little bit.
I'm just trying to put take me into the Illuminati, Jay-Z. If you are offered some type of, hey man, you can join the super society of what's going on. I don't even know enough about the Illuminati today. If someone came up to me and said, hey, dude, join the Illuminati, we'll make you a star tomorrow. All you have to do is, I don't even know what it is. Do you think you'd get
cover your eye?
Do you think you'd get on board with joining the Illuminati for
Oh,
fame?
hell no, I would not.
I mean, that's what everybody says, right? What percentage of people do you think get turned down by the Illuminati?
I don't think anybody turns it down. I think anyone who turns it down winds up disappearing.
Oh, that could be true. That is a concern.
Because if they're making the offer and you say no, they're going to be like, he knows too much.
Oh.
I'm a little bit offended that I've never been invited by some secret group of people to learn anything. I don't know what it is about my personality.
Sure, if you wanted to become a Mason, from what I understand, you either have to know other Masons or you start spending time at the Masonic Lodge studying.
And just regular people go to the Masonic Lodge and just...
They have libraries that are available for the public.
Is it just that one book, the Masonic book?
No, I believe that. It's just I've never been. But I had a friend who years ago, he had started frequenting the library there. And after about a month, he said he had Masons come up to him and said, hey, you've seen you around. Are you interested in becoming a Mason? So I think it really does. They'll invite you, but you have to show your interest. They're not going to, there's no random dude walking by and going, that guy right there is going to be perfect for our secret society.
Maybe not for that secret society or that type of thing, but I don't feel I ever got someone who wanted to run mind control on me. I feel like I got left out of those things.
Well, I've had a couple of experiences with the ballpark of these things. I joined the Knights of Columbus, which is a Catholic version of the Masons. It's a secret brotherhood, and I won't give away what we do, but there is a secret ceremony.
You're still a member.
I haven't been, I don't know.
I just said you're not willing to tell us what you guys did. That means that it's obviously, it is still a secret society you're a member of and are unwilling to give us the secrets.
God would
way to go, Brother Carl. Brother Sir Carl.
Knight, yes. I investigated Scientology back in 2005. And
I remember when they came to the offices.
Yes. They were so pissed at the article that they were stalking me at the office. And I hid under my desk, and then I was sent home to hide for a couple of days also, until they could figure out how to get a restraining order or some way of blocking them. But it's going to be I just started working on a second book, and the story is going to be in there. But I actually got in the room, tricked my way into getting into the Celebrity Center, this weird giant castle that they have in Hollywood, where all the biggest stars like Tom Cruise and John Travolta have special suites there, and they could go there anytime they want to be waited on hand and foot. And I went in there undercover with a friend of mine named Heather, who pretended to be my wife, and we pretended we were a couple of yokels who had just moved into Hollywood from Ohio when we wanted to be celebrities. So we came to the Celebrity Center, and the next thing I know, they're like, listen to a little tiny room, shut the door, and we got the shakedown. Like, we're totally trying to get us to cough up money. And my editor knew that they would go after money. So he was like, you just take the $50, because we went to a brunch there. And he goes, you just take the $50 cash to pay for the brunch. And then you don't bring anything else. No credit cards, no checks, no nothing. And so that they can't, because he knew that I was easily gullible and
You walked out with 3 copies of Dianetics?
Yeah. Anyways, they kept trying to shake us down for money for acting classes. And that's their way of luring a lot of young talent, is they say, oh, we teach acting classes and we have Tom Cruise and John Travolta. And they learned from us. And so
we actually have
up today. And the band, they were like asking me, could you just give us your bank account number and we can draw it. And I was like, and that's when I broke character and was like, hell no, I'm not giving you my bank account number. I wouldn't give that to my mom. And they looked at me like, what? Because I had like a yokel accent the whole rest of the time. But at that moment, I was just like totally fucking screamed at them without an accent. So it's crazy, yeah.
We had one of our old cohorts from the old Grand Theft Audio days, the world-class homie, go to the Scientology classes and stuff. And
really?
Yeah, like I'm trying to talk him out of it and tell him, like,
know better?
At the time, he did not. I have not spoken with him in a little while, I'm not sure that he's still doing it or not. But hey, man, I'm not saying Scientology is like a bad thing for everybody, and
Yeah, sure.
definitely it's used for people to get famous.
Well, I'm interested to see if I get stalked by Scientology in Little Rock. I don't think there even is a Little Rock chapter, so I think I'm safe.
Oh, they're everywhere, dude. I mean,
no, I'm gonna look.
Okay, so check your local area and see if you have a yellow deli cafe. Like, there's some more to get people to come into their free restaurant, and then they start like it's a newer organization that I've recently been learning that it looks shady as fuck, man. There's another thing I've never been invited to. I've never been invited into a cult. I mean, just look like I'd be too much hassle for a cult.
There is no official Church of
I
Scientology in Little Rock.
There was a time years ago where I kind of was I really that ugly of a kid? Because I used to walk everywhere. And it was in the 80s where we started to see kids showing up on milk cartons. It's like, all these kids are disappearing. Was I just not cute enough? Was I not an attractive child to these? What were just hordes of kidnappers and pedophiles that were out there?
I mean, the pedophiles around me. They never tried to abduct me, though. Like, I was never going to be the type of victim of pedophilia that ended up on a milk carton. I was going to be more the victim of pedophilia that ended up on, like, 48 hours.
I was just defending last night in conversation with one of my longest friends that life, I'm like 55-year-old. I've never once had a suspicious priest. And he goes, yeah, but that's because you're ugly. I'm like,
that's not true, Carl. I mean, wasn't a priest, but didn't you have like a camp counselor who was like?
Oh, that's true. Yes, I did have an acting camp counselor. Yes.
But was he Catholic? I mean, was church related?
No, I don't think so. Okay. No, but that's right. There was like the twist to this guy. Like, I'm gonna name him because maybe he really changed. I don't know. But the thing was, the guy was the director of a summer theater academy at the Arkansas Arts Center, and he just preyed on like boys believe. And this is in the mid '80s. 1985 was the year I was there. And years later, I mentioned it on Facebook that he tried to hit on me, and mentioned it when the U2 thing came out. And
the U thing?
I mean, yeah, sorry, too, yeah. Nothing, I'm sorry.
And the band came out there on the concert, all of a sudden you were like, oh, wait, that's right. This song was playing when it happened.
It's not a beautiful day.
Yeah. And so this other person said they had a similar experience with him. And we looked him up. We tried to find out what happened. And the guy had bounced from children's theater all across the South. Gee, I wonder why. Every couple of years he had to move on. He's getting busted or afraid of getting busted. But the thing was, he wound up being a monk, like an Episcopal monk, on the streets of Knoxville, working with the homeless, washing their feet. That was his specialty, was washing their feet. And I told the story one time. And I said, so do you guys think he really changed and became a man of God just wanting to help people with their foot sanitation? Or do you think he was like a fetish perv and all the people voted foot fetish perv?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. He was out there. He's like a Tarantino or something. There's people, man, sexual fetishes and things like that are some of the oddest things in the world. Something that
everybody's got their kink.
But there's some of them that don't make any sense as even a sex thing. So
no, but that's the thing, is it's some kind of trigger that creates some form of arousal. We don't understand it because it doesn't happen to us, but to another person, that is their normal way of being, oh, now's the time to have some fun.
This girl that I was with after I got divorced, she had the weirdest one that I didn't know what to do with. Her whole thing was balloon sounds.
Scraping?
What?
Yeah. She just loved the sound of balloons. You know that terrible sound that balloons make when you... and I tried to get into it, but it is...
That is a sound that is one of those turn-off sounds. When you hear that over and over again, it's hard for your dick to stay hard if you're hearing that kind of sound.
Yes.
I mean, there's other ones that could make that happen. Fingernails down a chalkboard. That has always sent chills down my spine. If that was to go on while I was hooking up, I'm certain I'd be like, oh, well,
someone's probably.
I guess you weren't hot for teacher then.
Not really. Not the teachers I had.
No, man. I don't think I ever had a good-looking teacher. No, I had one good-looking teacher, but she wasn't hot.
She was better looking than all the rest of our teachers. Let's just put it that way, because we grew up with teachers that were so significantly older than us. There weren't any young teachers working.
I mostly had nuns.
If I'm being realistic, I have to say I can probably think of a couple teachers that were at least attractive. I mean, they're probably all dead right now. Mr. Gordon. So my first special ed teacher, Mr. Gordon, was married to this hot ass special ed teacher. I think she was only there because us little mongoloids would just do whatever it was that she said because she was so hot. Yes, Mrs. Gordon, we'll do what she says.
Right.
It was pretty hot, man. I can probably think of a couple of others. Never mind. This is for GTA 6 After Dark.
Right. GTA 6 forum.
Which we're almost getting. That was a magazine. I remember that. Brent looks like he's getting into dark time over there. Your background looks nice now. It's like
lights on now.
And not that it wasn't nice earlier, but now it's got nice. It has a little bit more ambiance to it than it did before.
This is Brant Thoman. Thanking you for listening to Grand Theft Audio 6. Please tune in next time for the next great episode we've got coming up.
Carl Kozlowski with Grand Theft Audio 6. Make sure you tune in and come back tomorrow.
Hey everyone, this is Jake Belcher. Thanks for listening to that. Yeah, we're the show that uses the R word and the M word. But come back tomorrow for some more. Bye.